Liverpool's got a past that runs deep, stitched into every brick, every street name, every old warehouse still clinging on, and this old flour mill, it's one of them. A piece of graft, a place of proper hard work. When it was still in operation, this was the entrance on Mill Street, but I started flying the drone from the back of the building round here. Interestingly, you can't see this from the wall, but next to the mill was an old reservoir, as can be seen down here. This was likely used in the production of flour and as a safety mechanism in case there was a fire. As you can see, it says that there used to be a reservoir running all the way down here. These days, it's just this area here. The mill has expanded in size. This used to be houses. Here we can see the flour mill on the right on Google Maps, and on the left we can see the 1830s to 1880s. You see, it always was a flour mill. Yates Street, as you can see, it's a very old street, even back in the day. The gasometer is now there. The site looks derelict now, with parts of the site in ruins, but this place has a rich history that goes back centuries. Way back in 1775, this site was home to the High Park windmill, a wooden structure grinding grain into flour for a growing Liverpool. It stood for about 100 years until 1875, when a new windmill took its place. There are plenty of pictures online of the old wooden windmill, and I'm sure it would have been quite the landmark back in its heyday. This photo shows they needed to demolish the old wooden windmill to make room for new street designs. Luckily, a new windmill replaced it, keeping the milling tradition alive until its demolition in the late 1960s. This was one of the last pictures taken before demolition. As we can see, it no longer has its blades, like it does in this picture. At its peak, Liverpool was home to more than 75 windmills, 2 of which can be seen in this photo. These windmills primarily served to grind corn into flour, but they also had other uses such as pumping water like the one in Newsham Park, and even sowing wood. The decline of windmills came with the emergence of more efficient and reliable power sources, particularly steam, which was later replaced by electricity. While most of Liverpool's windmills have vanished over time, one notable survivor is the windmill on Bidston Hill, which remains to this day. Way back in the day, these streets were called Grain Street, Corn Street and Bran Street, named after the mill. Back in the day, the mill would grind up corn and turn it into flour. Today, only Corn Street survives, but every time you see Corn Street, you have to think about the flour mill. Around 2 years ago, a YouTuber called G2E Media made a similar video to this one, but the difference was he got to go inside the mill while it was still in operation. It goes to say, its demolition was no surprise as the site did not look like a very modern operation. Apparently its listed status stopped modernisation, resulting in the factory becoming uneconomical. It was good he managed to capture the drone footage while the site was still standing though. I would like to take this opportunity to state most of my knowledge regarding the history of this site came from a WordPress blog I've linked in the description. At the end of 2022 the site was closed. And then, in February 2023, the site was sold to Mill Street Developments for $1.1 million. In 2023, a planning application was sent to the council that was rejected due to a lack of clarity on the site's post-demolition use. Another planning application was made and approved in November 2024. It was agreed to turn the whole site into grass until they had figured out what they were going to do with the site. By March 2025, most buildings were demolished except the iconic tower, but the site remains vacant. The site's condition is described as unsafe and deteriorating, with issues like rats and asbestos noted by former employees and the council, which has complicated redevelopment efforts. The site's future remains unclear. There have been rumours that the site could become a 15-storey apartment block for students to serve the city's university-driven economy. Others want the main tower preserved to honour its 220-year history. Liverpool is undergoing regeneration and has a £31 million fund to redevelop key sites. The redevelopment of brownfield sites like Littlewood show what can be done to places like this. I hope you found this video interesting. See you in the next one.